Okay, we're live for 27 of December, 2020. Greetings, everybody. Welcome to the last live stream of 2020. I'm your host, CRUSTY CANUCK. Come on out and ask me all your questions. Oh, I got one person signing up. Greetings. How's everyone tonight? Hey, Christian, how you doing? I see more people signing on. Don't be shy, folks. Say hello. Let's make this last Q&A of 2020 eventful. Deer steaks and rice. That sounds good. Venison and rice. Awesome. Sounds delicious. Mm. Good evening, Fred. How are you tonight? And a few more people coming out. Don't be shy, folks. Say hello. Merry Christmas to all belated, all that good stuff. Hope everyone had a decent holiday so far. Well, a few more days of normalcy, and then it's New Year's. Then a whole new leaf. So we'll see what's going on. Hope everybody had an eventful holiday. Mine was good. It was nice and quiet with my wife. So that's good, Fred. That's good. It's good to see people are coming out to your show. Hope my plug there gave you a hand. So, oh, that's good. It's good to know, Fred. It's good to see that. Good to see that. Sorry, I didn't shave my head today because I've been feeling awfully lazy the past few days. Yes, so. I'd like to warn everybody too that listener and viewer discretion is advised. I use vulgarity and I smoke on this, so that way the people at YouTube don't give me a hard time. So, well, that's good, Fred, because I tell them check out your podcast too, because your points of view and your well-grounded information and everything. So, grow a mullet for 2021. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Christian Demore says I should grow a mullet. So, you see where my hairline is here. So, if I grew a mullet, I would kind of look like Kim Mitchell's weird stepchild if that was the case. So, start yours. Business in the front and party in the back, right? Yeah. I wonder if I can actually post this question or not. I thought I could post questions on this. Oh, my mistake. I know I can do it with the other streaming service I'm trying to get a hold of here, but oh. I got a few more people joining on. Don't be shy, folks. Say hello. Right? A lot of people like to sign on and just sit there and look. It's kind of like watching people sleep. Just not, you know. Yeah, it is kind of creepy. Well, shy folks, ask me all the questions you want, your heart's desire. This is the last Q&A for 2020. Next year, I'll try to get a few more up and running, but in between working and trying to get things on the go and other additional training endeavors. So, what do I know about history? What were history referring to there? Sanchez Kitch, or you go by Sanchez Kick. Which is it? What history do you want to know? World history, mainly the East. Well, I know China actually was probably one of the first civilizations to develop mathematics as we know it, written language, innovations in basic sciences. But like Japan, they were just as feudal too. So I think India, I think they had some innovations as well. So, but mind you, I'm digging back into my ancient history from high school here. So, but I know China had some interesting innovations, especially what we call the Dark Ages when it came to medicine and understanding the human anatomy. So, no, actually, I don't. I thought the oldest civilization had its roots in Africa or Machu Picchu, yeah, in Turkey. Interesting. Hmm. Africa had the oldest people. Okay. How was everyone's Christmas? Was it eventful? The Aboriginals. Hmm, interesting. Yeah, Machu Picchu, I think, is in South America, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Is it in Peru? Or is it Chile? Because I know it predates the Mayans and the Aztecs and all that, as far as I know. Well, Australia was a continent on its own before it became a colony for bad people, which became, Australia. I'm not saying Australians are bad, but if I remember my British history, yeah, they didn't send them to Canada; they sent them to Australia. Maybe that's why Aussies and Canucks get along so well. So, well, the same in New Zealand too. So don't feel bad, Fred. You can just see the lordships right there with powdered wigs on, saying, "Okay, Canada's New Zealand or Australia." So I think the majority went to Australia because it's better weather, right? So, oh, okay. Well, then all's forgiven, Fred. Only murderers, not a problem. Come on in. Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of history in Australia, New Zealand, Canada. A lot of history throughout the Commonwealth. That's funny because I was actually didn't want to, but I watched the Queen's message there for Christmas Day, so it was touching to say the least. But you know, I don't know. I just didn't find it very genuine this time around. Uh, I respect the crown to a point where I can say, Your Majesty, yes, ma'am. But when it comes to Canadian law, when it comes to Canadian governance, I would keep certain traditions alive, but I would also get rid of the Senate. Senators are appointed in Canada. Now, I'm not sure that's the Commonwealth. I was told that I think in Australia and New Zealand, senators are actually elected. I think they still are in Britain too, or if they ever were in Britain, I'm not sure. But I would get rid of the Governor General. We don't need a Governor General anymore. So, I would respect the crowd out of certain traditions, but when it comes to governing this nation, no. I'm sure the Queen's a nice lady. I'm sure Prince Philip's a nice man. I'm sure Prince Charles has his perks too, but I'm not partial anymore to the monarchy. I got to respect, sure, common courtesy, but when it comes to tax dollars and what have you, and governance, no, no. Um, well, if the Queen has a say in the Commonwealth realm, why can't we have a say? Really, you know, I don't tell Britain what to do. Why should I? You know, no, I believe let's get rid of the Governor General. Especially the one we have right now. I don't find her very effective. I don't find her to be very lenient or tolerant. So, from Harris Suffervic, why do I look stupid? I don't know, Harris. Why do you look like an H? Was that a question, or are you just being a dumbass? All right. Hmm. I think they should join us in the 21st century and develop. Yes, I agree, Sanchez. I agree. Full democracy. Um, I think that was the intent of Oliver Cromwell during the English Civil War. Full democracy. Okay, well, good for you, Harris. Would you like a medal because of where you stand? Hmm? Hmm? Thank you. Now, if you're here to ask me some legitimate questions, Harris, by all means, but you want to be a dumbass, I'm just going to block you. It's up to you. Be an adult or get blocked. You don't like the United States or you don't like North America? Meghan Markle? I don't feel anything for her at all. Well, then, Harris, don't be rude. If you got something to say or something to ask me, ask me. But you want to be a rude little one, then I'll block you. It's that simple. Okay, those are the two choices you have. Hmm. North America. Where are you from, Harris? You live in Canada? Do you live in the United States? Hmm? I think COVID is a real thing, but I also think the hype is overrated. I think we can keep the economy going with masks and social distancing. Right? Okay. Harris Seferick is from Transgender Land. Great. Okay. So when you open up your wallet or your purse and you exchange currency for goods and services, who is on that currency? If I were you, what question I'd like to be asked? Well, I don't know. Ask me something about Canada. Where are you from, Sanchez? Push-ups. Good to see you, buddy. Thank you, push-ups. Well, I try to be nice. So we're getting a few more people coming out. Don't be shy, folks. Egypt. Are you in Egypt right now, Sanchez, or are you in North America? I think Trump is an excellent business leader. However, I don't think Joe Biden is going to do any better. Honestly, I don't. No, Harris, I would not. Now, if you're going to ask me a legitimate question, Harris, about my podcast and what I do, I will gladly answer them for you. But if you're going to be a dick, I'm going to block you. That's simple. That's your last warning. South Africa. I've always wanted to visit South Africa. I did. My thing to seeing South Africa would be the farmlands, actually doing a proper safari, and then actually doing some cage diving with the sharks. I would love that. Right? I would agree with that too. Push-ups. I never looked at him as a politician. I always looked at Trump as a business leader, regardless if he's failed or not. Every business has failed one way or the other. So Harris Seferick asked me how long I've been on YouTube. I've been on YouTube now for about a couple of years. I started off with the videos at first, then I started building a podcast. So every time I do a podcast, then I'll make sure I add it on YouTube as well. So no, I don't have COVID, Harris. I smoke cigarettes. That's my own fault. Yes, Fred, I would love to go that. Once these restrictions lift, let's go to South Africa, drink some beers, shoot some guns, go grab some livestock, eat in the bush, and then go find some sharks to dive with. Yeah. K-Fu asked me, is it time for Canada to 1776? Well, I can see what you mean in that question. And I hate to say it, K-Fu, but I think something's brewing. I say in all my videos and on my podcasts, I don't want to see violence. I don't. I don't want to see unnecessary violence. I don't want to see businesses burned. I don't want to see cars overturned and things get smashed because people's feelings get hurt. But the way things are going, who knows? Right? Brian Brudson. Hey, Krusty. Brian from Ontario. Good to see you, Brian. Sanchez Kitsch. No, Canada is not separated by French English. There are French separatists, and there's a small movement of English separatists, but they don't identify as English separatists. They're what they call Wexiteers. So, oh my God, push-ups. Well, I can agree with that too. Push-ups. I could, but I think you know as well as I do, bud. Something's in the works, and I don't think it's going to be pretty. So, Kiprioth, good to see you. Yes, I've heard about that. Kiprioth asks, I'm sure you're well aware of Ontario's complete lockdown that started on Saturday. Now there's a new sort of spread of the COVID-19, the strain found in the UK, but no prior contact travel. Yes, I've heard that. There's a new strain. I guess what, a couple of people in their 40s received it, yet they never traveled anywhere. So who knows what they're going to do with this? What are they going to come up with now? New strain. You know, it attacks a certain part of the system. Are they going to racialize it like Theresa Tam did there 3 months ago? Who knows? Right? Schwann's Leitcher. Okay, thank you. But keep it clean, ladies and gentlemen, please. Okay. Sanchez Kitch. Quebec is a nice province. It is. Every province in Canada is a good place to visit. There's lots of history. There's lots of resources, lots of beautiful things in every province to see. So, speculation is from Kiprioff. The news released since the lockdown will be used to legislate permanent emergency. Yeah, see, that's a thing because even Kenny's trying to hint that here too. Yeah, okay, Schwans, you're welcome. Yeah. Do you have a legitimate question, Schwans? You want to be a pig? Choice is yours. Yes, Brian, we do. We do. I think every working democracy in the hemisphere, north or south, is worth fighting for. And every country that wants a democracy is worth fighting for. Well, thank you, Mr. Schwans, but I'm not an American. I'm a Canadian. Sanchez, best Canadian meal? Is that a question, or you're trying to offer something for the Canadian menu? Fred Stockman asks if you see Sam the God's interview with a crazy woke SJW. Uh, no, I have not. Okay, Schwans, you're done, buds. See ya. You want to be a dick? Mm. Yes. Canadian meal. I don't know. We really don't have a Canadian meal. There's Montreal smoked meat, which is excellent when it's done properly. There's P-mail bacon, which is excellent too. I can actually make a decent moose roast, which is fantastic. Not to toot my own horn. So push-ups, I'd say poutine is, but when you think of poutine, it's more of a garnish, if anything. It's just, it's tasty. Don't get me wrong. It's good comfort food. You know. Do I think Germans did the Jews right? I think the Nazis did a terrible thing, but I know of Germans that did their best to save Jews. I would agree, Kip. There's not really a definitive Canadian cuisine. However, there's Canadian styles to things. Like I mentioned, P-mail bacon, and Montreal smoked meat, So, yes, Mary Lindsay, I do hate Nazis. I don't like Nazis. I don't like communists because they're both sides of the same coin. Yes, Sanchez, moose is excellent. Just think of just think of beef, just a leaner beef. And I've had bison meat too. It's excellent too. Yes, KFU, I was PPCLI, and I was also 1 RCR. So, Mary Lenza, are you going to ask me a legitimate question, or you size me up for something stupid? Hmm. Moose look a lot like a horse. Well, I guess you can say there is a comparison, but moose tastes a bit better, right? So, um, buffalo meat, bison meat's really good too. So is elk meat. Elk is really good. Mm. Elk is like a giant reindeer. There was at one time, Kfu. There was a rivalry, but I think the war in Afghanistan changed a lot of that too. So it was kind of like a rivalry, like between the Maple Leafs and the Montreal Canadiens. Mary Lenza, you asked me a question. Oh, you're calling me names. Okay, Mary, this is your first and last warning. If you want a legitimate answer to a legitimate question, I will gladly give it to you. But you want to come off as a prick or a douchebag, I don't have time for you. Do the math. Yeah, I still enjoy hockey, Sanchez. Yeah. I'm not a big supporter of the NHL as much as I used to be, but I still enjoy international play. Yeah. I do have teeth. They're all paid for. They're all mine. They're all natural. See ya. Tuna. I don't know. Ask Cadbury's chocolate. I'm sure they have the answer for you. Okay, Mary, you're banned. I'm not sure, Fred. Quite a few. You know, I'll play it for a little bit, but you want to be, you know, oh, then fine. Let Mary be a Fed or whatever troll he or her or they or whatever moniker they want to use. Fine. So, Sanchez Kitch. He's trying. Okay. I'm going to repeat your question there, Sanchez. I'm trying to get all the Canadian stereotypes out of the way. Okay. So, where you live, what have people told you about Canada? And I will gladly answer them for you. Well, Kipriath made a point. Yeah, not all Canadians are into hockey. It is a national pastime. But technically speaking, we have two sports. The official winter game is hockey, the official summer game is lacrosse. So, but there's versatility in all sports here. We have lots of, I can't name them off the top of my head, but we're getting more and more basketball players in the NBA. A few more players are going pro football in the States, North American football. I know there's a few Canadians that play European football in Germany and in Britain. So, Sanchez, yes, we do. Because we're Northern Hemisphere, our summertime usually starts around late May, ends around October. So, tuna. Well, tuna, there might be a little bit of truth to that because I've met some Americans from upstate New York that have actually had skis in their vehicle in July. That's no word of a lie. I was about 13 years old when that happened. So, they were coming outside of Buffalo. Yeah. That's a good point, Kip. I would, yeah, yeah. Here's a stat there for you, Sanchez. You've ever read Kiprios. Yeah. 37 million Canadians in Canada. 2.2 million of us are gun owners, and we hunt or target or competition shoot or collect. So there's quite a few native tribes left in Canada. Right? I can't name them all by heart, right? But I was also raised in a household where you treat people with courtesy and respect, regardless of the color of their skin or the religious background or how they identify. So, Buffalo, New York is Canada. Come on, Fred. Really? I just told you a story of what happened when I was about 13. Yeah. Mhm. Yes, which is very good. But my concern with the water issue too is let's look at some of these bands and let's look at some of the leadership and why there's some leaders in these bands that are being very well to do and some members aren't. So I think you might be confusing Buffalo with Rochester, Fred. Rochester? Well, I guess I got rid of all the trolls. New Hampshire, basically Canada. Really, Fred? Been in New Hampshire. Nice state. Is it true that Canada is worse than the USA? I don't know how to answer that. I guess in some cases we could be um, lagging behind. Um, Politically, I don't think we're that different. Uh, the whole brand of liberalism has changed in my lifetime, for starters. I have seen that in both countries. Oh, I would too, Kip, but of course, our government's not going to have that agenda. They've got other things to worry about, right? Fred Stockman, everyone in New Hampshire is basically either born in Canada or has a parent in Canada. Oh, of course. That's the halfway mark to the Snowbird Trail. Okay, of course. They make their way to Florida every winter and they end staying in New Hampshire. Yeah, okay. Yes, I did push ups. I did see JT talk about the reset, and I also saw him backstep and said, "Oh, it's just a conspiracy theory." Really? Sanchez, Celine Dion is Canadian, good. Justin Bieber, bad. Well, I'm not a fan of either of them, so yeah, you can have them. Mm, that's fine. That's I do remember that, Kipper. When I was living in London, Ontario, back in the '90s, yes, there were quite a few people we hung out with that had dual citizenship. Um, One of our, I guess you can say, pseudo groupies slash fans of our band, he was from Chicago. Yeah. So he had dual citizenship, and his girlfriend had dual citizenship. So yeah, 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 yeah. I spent time in London, Ontario for about a year. So Will Arnett, yeah, yeah, he was funny. He was funny in that movie. Let's Go to Prison. I thought that was hilarious. So Kipriot, dual citizenship isn't a big thing here. Well, it's yeah, it's not. Like if I was working in the States, I'd pay my share of taxes down there, and of course pay my share up here too. And there's a lot of good relation between America and Canada when it comes to the social, art, history, music, Saturday Night Live, Second City. There's lots of interchange there. Sanchez, who's my favorite Canadian musician? Well, there's a few. My favorite band of all time is Rush, and Motorhead's a close second. So, yeah. And I was actually hurt when Neil Peart died. I was kind of hurt. Yeah. Mm. See, that's the thing with a taxation. Yes. Yeah. Economic ties and taxation are relatively integrated. Yeah. But it's the biggest trading partner, right? Vice versa. So, mm, Sanchez, Motorhead comes from Britain. Yeah. They're British. Yeah. Yes, Motorhead comes from Britain. Motorhead, yes. Yes, when we all pass and go to heaven, there'll be Lemmy sitting there with a bottle of JD and some Coke. Saying, right then, well, yeah. Fred Stockman, yeah. Neil Young, I think he's from. I think he was born in Saskatchewan. I'm not sure. I think he was born in Saskatchewan. Sanchez Kitch, are all Canadians polite? Yes, we can be very polite. That's just a matter of ethics, too. Right? Yeah, I would say Neil Young did contribute quite a bit to music, as we know. I would say is. I'm not a big fan of him. I'm more partial to a bit of Gordon Lightfoot and Leonard Cohen, but I would say he contributed heavily to modern music. Yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah, 60s and 70s, especially with what was his first man? Was it Buffalo Springfield? Then he went on to Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. Then he did his own thing. Well, I think his Harvest album was his big seller. The Guess Who? Yeah, the band. Okay, Kiprioth, I'll accept Nickelback. Metric, yeah, all Canadian musicians, yeah. Saskatchewan is a province, Sanchez. No, I don't hate him either, too. That's the thing. I don't see why the running joke is everyone hates Nickelback. And they've had their commercial success. They do what they want to do. Fine, so be it. You know. Yes, thank you, Kiprioth, for the geography lesson. It's appreciated. Yes. Well, more people are coming out. Don't be shy, folks. Feel free to ask. So next month, I will be trying to formulate the podcast to a second part. Well, not really a second part, but I'm going to try to do a comedy channel too. Do some skits. I've got some characters written up. I've got some ideas. So stay tuned to that. No, feel free. Ask anything you want there, Sanchez, by all means. I'm going to try to formulate some comedy. I'm going to be working on some special guests too in the near future. Can't really say who yet, but I've sent some emails out to the powers that be. So hopefully I'll be getting some key guests on the CRUSTY CANUCK podcast. So stay tuned for that too. So say something funny. Like what, Sanchez? What do you want, a joke? Hmm? Why does it hurt when I pee? Well, hmm. Yeah, I'm considering that too. But I was trying to get a few more bigger people there too. There's a few people in Britain I've been talking to, a couple of Canadian celebs. So some email exchange back and forth. I tried to get a young student activist from Colorado there a couple of weeks back. He liked my podcast too. Sent me a nice email. I tried to get hold of him again, and the email is not on void. So, no, maybe he got in trouble. But yes, I would consider getting the Raging Humanist on too, big time. So no, not Nicole Arbor. I'm not that lucky. So it'd be nice though. It would be nice. Yeah. No, I don't use Twitch. Too politically correct. No. I'm looking at different streaming services as we speak too. So I was thinking of Restream, but they have a big headline. They have the right to more or less censor. And I'm like, no, I don't tolerate that. So possibly, yeah, I did reach out on locals to him. I haven't heard anything back. So possibly Dave Rubin, but there's a few emails. I said to myself, I'm not going to tell just yet because I don't want to jinx it, but there's something in the works. So it might take me a couple of months, but there will be some decent guests coming on the CRUSTY podcast in the near future. So I see more people signing on. Don't be shy, folks. Feel free. Ask me anything you want to know. Let's see. Okay. Sanchez, prepared a copy. There you go. I don't think Dave Rubin is Canadian there, Fred. I know he's talked a lot of Canadians. I don't think he's Canadian. So Rave Dubin. Am I in lockdown? Kind of, I guess you can say. They haven't shut all of our businesses down yet, per se, but there's more restrictions. So I've actually sent an email to Ezra Levant. I haven't got anything back from him yet. So yeah. And True North, I actually applied to them for a job, ironically enough. So, but yeah, I can actually send some more emails to Andrew Lawton. I like his show. Yeah. I miss those days of real good talk radio. We can just turn the radio on and listen to a decent talk radio show. Right. Yeah, K-Fu, Raging Humanist. Yeah, I'll definitely get in touch with him for sure. So I applied to True North to be a reporter, to be like an online journalist slash writer or whatever. So yeah. Oh my God, push-ups. Yeah. See, that's the thing. Because I actually remember when the CBC actually had decent talk radio on. But now you look at all these radio stations, they're owned by two or three different conglomerates. There's no longer a lot of independent radio like there was. We can just turn on a dial, whether it's AM or FM, and find a decent radio station. Right. Red Stock and Talk Rebel News. No, because I swear too much. Kiprioth, yeah, CBC radio is a lot of it is virtue signal and wokeness. A lot of these so-called innovators are too woke, which is a terrible play in English. So that should be a hint right there. Avi Yemeni, well, he's in Australia. I'm not moving to Australia, bud. Like to, but I like it here. So much as I love Australia, New Zealand, the Commonwealth nations, my home's Canada. It's worth fighting for. So, oh, I know he works for Rebel. He has his own thing too. Yeah, there's quite a few Americans getting involved in Rebel News as well, which is kind of nice. So it's branching out. So you're seeing independent media getting bigger and stronger, which is fantastic. So Tom guy. Is that the guy from Warrior Calls? I'm working on that. Yeah. Oh, Quiggin. That's who he is. Yeah, Tom Quiggin. That's a good point too. Yes. Yes, I've actually wrote that down someplace to get a hold of him. Yes, Tom Quiggin. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, I know he's got a blog there. Yeah, he spent time Canadian Army Intelligence. I think he did some work for CSIS as well. I think he worked for CSIS as a civilian after his time in the service. Yeah, yeah. Tom Quiggin. Quiggin Report. Yeah, yeah. Rebel is getting international. They had a good fan base in Britain there for a bit, right? Tommy Robinson did some good stuff for the Rebel, right? So yes, definitely. So, but like I say, folks, next year, the world's full of opportunity when it comes to interviews and getting a guest on my show. Like I say, I'm getting bigger too, but it takes members like yourself to become a member. So if you like, please click on the join icon beside the name on the YouTube page. And for $1.99 a month, you get to see me every 2 weeks and you get proper accolades where they're due. So yeah, Epoch is Epic or Epoch. I don't know, Epic or Epoch. However, they're doing some good stuff as well. Chinese nationals fighting against the communist regime. So I keep getting subscription emails from Epoch. Maybe because they found my ad on YouTube. Who knows? Newsmax is picking up as well. Yeah, they're starting to be a contender. Yeah. I was never a big fan of Fox News, but I like Tucker Carlson. I don't know what it is. Hmm. Sanchez. I do politics, satire. I criticize stupid politicians, basically. And I do it for the love of nation. Mhm. Yeah, Fox doesn't have as much steam as it did. Controversy and CNN, I never pay attention to CNN. Even before the Trump fiascos, before 2016, I never watched CNN or Fox for that matter. Like I said, I watched Tucker Carlson at times, but I never really got into Fox News and whatever. So, hmm. Well, he's a straight shooter. He's a straight narrow shooter. He's a family man, looks after his family. He's got his scruples, got his morals, but he's very, very thorough in his work. He doesn't prove to be this guy or that guy. He just gets to the point. That's probably what I like about him because he's not um, Sanchez. Brexit or not? Yes. If I was British, I'd be a Brexiteer. Oh. I can understand a union between nations when it comes to certain trade and stuff like that. But when you have one nation telling a dozen nations what to do, no, sorry, doesn't work that way. Hmm. Oh, Kiprioth. Well, see, Brexit, they're not leaving. The Britons are not leaving Britain. They're leaving like a European Union in the name of trade and commerce. I can see why there's Wexiteers out west. I don't really pay attention to Quebec separatists anymore. Whatever, it's like because I've worked with a lot of Quebecers, and I might have met one that was a staunch separatist, and yet he was in a Canadian uniform. So who knows, right? Oh yeah, yeah, they voted twice. And it was funny because a friend of mine was home prior to the first Brexit vote, and he was just shaking his head. So, oh, of course, the moment there was more money to be, to be divvied up, all of a sudden more separatists come out of the woodwork, right? Kind of like Les Blocs, you know. Well, I can see a republic working in Australia. I can see actually a republic working in Canada too. But we've got a parliamentary system that does work. However, there's just too many slaps and tickles going around. So, mm. So just Quebec has some really scary ideas. Well, the Quebecers I have talked to personally, they're not really afraid of the separatists. They're just tired of them. You know, when they had their the first referendum, I think it was 1980, and the second referendum they had was 1995, and their claim was Canada's not doing enough for them, and they don't believe that they're part of it. And yet the logic was is that they want to leave home but have Canada pay the bills. So it's like, okay, you're independent, but you're thriving on Canadian currency. So which is it? What do you want? Right. Oh, exactly, Kiprioth. There's people have this misconception that everybody in Alberta we're nothing but cowboys and rednecks and we're staunch Trump supporters and there's KKK everywhere. No, no, no. The places where I work and people I've worked with and worked for, no, no. The thing is, Alberta is a big energy producer, and the liberal mandate is let's stifle it and keep it landlocked so they can keep it for themselves and for some of their American Democrat friends who want to keep it landlocked. So, and the separatists say it's dirty oil, and yet they don't mind taking Saudi oil or Nigerian oil or Venezuelan oil. So, yes, I've heard about the Amber Heard issue. Professional victim extraordinaire, right? Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't think the bloc separatists have really anything to stand on other than professional victim blaming and victimhood. So, like I said, the Quebecers I've worked with and worked for, nothing like that. Nothing. You know. Yes, Sanchez, our prime minister did blackface not once or twice, but three times. No. See, that's the thing, Brian. I'm sure you know somebody who's worked in Alberta. I had uncles that work in Alberta. I work in Alberta. I live in Alberta. So, there's a lot of people who've come to Alberta to work the booms, work the oil, drive truck, get qualifications, advance their careers because of the oil industry. as, as Norm MacDonald would say, yeah, great piece of ass. Well, he's losing, as far as I'm concerned, out here. He lost his touch in 2015. There were an abundance of people in Edmonton and Calgary and Red Deer that voted for Trudeau, that voted for the Liberal brand. And then when they realized that the brand stinks and they were getting it up the chuff, that's the thing. So, Sanchez Kitch, speaking about victim blaming, what about Jordan Peterson? Would you talk to him? In a heartbeat. I would give any time to that man. If he was to sit and talk with me, yes. I think he's brilliant. Hmm. Well, see, that's the problem, Fred. You know, all the birds in Europe like him because he's so handsome, great hair and great socks. Yeah, they don't look at his lack of leadership and his lack of encouragement and his lack of respect for the nation he represents. So, I see more people signing on. Don't be shy, folks. Please consider using the super sticker too. Join today for $1.99. You get to see my ugly mug every 2 weeks, plus accolades where they count. So please consider that. Well, see, that's the thing, Brian. Our Conservative Party is corrupt too, but there are a few conservative politicians that are making a stand, which is good in a parliamentary system. Healthy opposition is excellent, but if they do call an election in the spring, I'll be running under the VCP party. So, Liberal cabinet should be number one thing. Well, I think the consensus of Canadians that they're tired of the Liberals, regardless of the half-assed polls they keep talking on national news. The so-called Nanos poll, right? I don't know about you. Have you ever been asked a question by these polls? Would be online, via telephone, or in person? You know, I can think of about maybe 20,000 times since the last federal election they've talked about these polls, and yet I haven't seen a poll anywhere. Right? Sanchez Kitch. I like Jordan Peterson, but sometimes he gets too deep in mythology. Well, yes, he also has a pseudo religious upbringing too. He has a Christian background, right? But yeah, Kiprios, Brian Rudson. Yeah, I've never been polled by anybody. So that's the thing. And every time you watch, it would be CTV or CBC or Global, so and so from this poll or so and so from that poll. Well, what poll? I haven't seen anything like that. So I think what it is they'll step outside of Parliament, ask 10 or 20 people, and all of a sudden that's a national example. No. You want to do a proper poll? Okay. Get every city in the country, every major town, hire a couple of students with a clipboard, yes to this or no to this, asking people on the street. Give them $15 an hour doing it. Don't come back to this office until you've done 8 hours of actual polling, and then put the numbers together, then go national with it. And then you'll probably see a little more of an idea. So, Kipriot, it's true. I've had conservatives call me, the PPC. Actually, I've had a nice Christmas message that was given to me by the conservatives and the PPC, and a nice email I got from the Libertarian Party too. And as we speak, too, there's some VCP members doing a march across Canada. So, Sanchez Kitch, what are the past results of polling data? Don't waste your time. The best thing to do as an individual is to find your own data and then display it to the best of your ability. And the thing is, Kipriot, too, with Toronto, York Center, Yorkville, and Toronto Center, okay, a lot of them vote for safety, comfort, not reality, right? I've had to tell a couple of people weighing on my page, there's more to Canada than just Ontario, right? And Toronto was not the center of the universe. Neither is Montreal, neither is Vancouver. So some people get their feathers in a ruff because of that, but sorry, that's reality. I think Toronto's a great city, but I also think Edmonton and Calgary are great cities too. I think Winnipeg's a fantastic city. Thunder Bay is a cool town. North Bay is a cool town. Sault Ste. Marie is a cool town. Montreal is great. You can handle the traffic. Well, well, that's the thing. I could see the majority of people in Ontario voting Liberal because of Doug Ford's brand now. But what gets me is they're not going to see the repercussions of this new carbon tax, more taxes, more of this environmental hoopla. right? When it comes to taking my money, your money, and everybody else's money, right? We're in debt because of these clowns, right? They refuse to let things open. They refuse to build things because of their half-ass scheme on gender parity, which is a joke, right? No, Kip, I haven't seen it, but I know it's getting worse. Even since the OAC, there's been an upscale in crime. And then you look at Bill Blair going, way to go, Buckeye, right? So, Sanchez Kitch Canada is pretty safe even for a developed nation. Well, yeah, you'd say so. But there's more and more dangerous people calling the shots. So, this is the party I represent, ladies and gentlemen. Well, see, that's the thing, Kipriot. It's they don't want to contribute to that. The liberal brand has never contributed wholeheartedly to the security of this nation, right? Or security of any matter. It's always been hushed under the table or patted on the head, right? If you want to stop gun crime, then even the border authorities have said we got to look at the borders here. It's got nothing to do with you or me being gun owners or this guy down the road or that person over here or this lady over here. It's a matter of looking into the inner cities. And Bill Blair knows better because he was part of the crime units that took some of it down back in 2012 and 2013. So they're just being disingenuous, right? Brian Brudson. Yeah, Doug Ford is a weak conservative because he would say Ontario is open for business, and now he's willing to shut it down. One minute he's saying support your local businesses, then he's saying, well, support the curbside, and then lock everything down. Well, which is it? Huh? Oh, good to see you, Colin. Oh, of course, they're all doing what the party was telling him to. Of course, Bill Blair is going to do what Justin says, and his advisors, you know, the SJW collective. Well, and they want to be career politicians. They don't want to lead for, 48 years. They want to be in parliament for anywhere from 10 to 20 years. So, see, I would like to be elected under the VCP moniker because I believe in veterans' rights and veterans' affairs when it comes to looking after the men and women that serve this country. Right. Well, see, that's the thing too, and I actually looked into that, and that was an idea that liberals, because of Miss Freeland, stimulus. So basically, taking Canadians' money, throwing it back in the Canadian economy for the sake of the government's fuck ups, right? So, an MPP in the writing that has done his service and can retire. Exactly. And I think Ontario MPPs get paid anywhere from 125 to what 160 or more a year, if I'm not mistaken, Kipriot. Because I know the MLAs out here get anywhere from 120 to 140. So, yeah, lock up your savings, Colin. So, Yeah, see, that's the thing. And then if you got a trade, or if you have an essential service, as far as I'm concerned, every service is essential. This bullshit about non-essential, what is that? Like, I don't buy that at all, really. And then they can go to Parliament or Queen's Park or whatever legislature and dictate terms. And no, no, no. I think you have to serve 6 years to get a pension in provincial legislature or Parliament, and I think it's 8 years, or is it the other way around? I'm not exactly sure, but you don't have to do a super long time to get a pension. I know that. So I tell you, if someone's giving me 150 grand a year, I'll be doing my effing job. Yeah, that's the thing with some courts in Ontario. I understand that, and there's a few courts in Alberta that are getting overrun too for unfair ticketing. You know, so I think a lot of justices will just look at these tickets and just toss them out, right? Just a waste of time. You know, just a waste of bloody time. No, he won't go to jail, Colin. Justin Trudeau won't go to jail. No, no, no. He'll retire someplace or get a nice cushy job somewhere to be a UN puppet or something, or hit with a ball of his own shit. Time will tell. Well, that's the thing, Kiprias. None of these guys will go to jail. Even something wheeling and dealings that Brian Mulroney did back in the late '80s, early '90s, with certain sponsorships and certain little presence here. You get a cushy job in New York State, right? So, but I will say, if they do have a next election, there'll be more people put in position based on merit and not based on gender or identity or feelings. You know. Oh, of course, Jean Chrétien had corruptions. Of course, he did. Sponsorship scandal. What us ex troops used to call a decade of darkness. Yeah, he'd make sure that our men and women are always sent to these foreign wars to do peacekeeping efforts, and yet do everything on a shoestring budget, and then sell our kit off, right? And then when the airborne fiasco happened, what better way to save money by getting a whole unit, right? Just destroy it all. I heard that, Colin. Yeah, yeah, I heard that about New Brunswick. Well, we know Sunny Ways was just a gimmick, right? And transparency's out the window. So, well, that's the scary thing. That's where maybe we should retweak the parliamentary system and then hold more of these clowns to account when it comes to swearing an oath to represent this nation. Um, that's funny because my mother was alive. We used to talk about politics all the time, and she loved Pierre Elliott Trudeau. Now, I would say, educated official. He was intellectual, fine. I'd say he made a lot of mistakes, quite a few mistakes. But Justin Trudeau, I no, I don't wish any ill will on the man's family, but I have no respect for that man at all. None. None. And proper accountability. It's like if we cheat on our taxes, okay, we're always deemed as greedy, right? This is the logic of the liberal brand right now. Not even 2 years ago, Bill Morneau was saying, oh, well, small businesses are tax cheats. Well, what is he doing? He was a parliamentarian getting 180,000 a year. Plus, he had his own pension program that he was selling to different companies. So, can you say double dip? Yet, were the tax cheats. So, Lionel, good to see you. Thanks for coming. Grimsby, right on. Don't be shy, folks. Take advantage of the super stickers right at the bottom of the comment page there, too. Contribute what you like or become a member of the CRUSTY CANUCK podcast page. Just click join and donate what you can every month. Or just look at my description column in every one of my videos. You can use the Buy Me a Coffee application or the PayPal application, donate what you can. You know, I'm not going to be one of those YouTubers that demands coin. That's up to you, the individual, if you want to or not. So take a chance. I know it's just after Christmas, things are tight, but hey, you know, opportunity's there if you want to give it. If not, that's fine too. I'll still do this work for free. So well, I can tell you out west here, there is no love, no love for the Liberal brand whatsoever. You can actually see it in people's faces when they see the logo. They cringe, right? You know, they get triggered. So that would be an interesting time. That would have been a very interesting month. The October crisis of 71. That would have been very interesting. Yeah. I remember my dad telling me stories about that. Yeah. I also remember my dad telling me about watching the October crisis and things unfolding, and then watching the Summit series in 72. So a little bit of Canadian history right there for you. So good to see you, Diana. Thanks for coming out. Diana Dangus. Really? The Morneau Chappelle pension plan. Well, I think there's more than you know there, Brian. I think there's quite a few of them. I think there's just that politeness, the silent majority. Diana Dingus, yes, sir. Okay. If you can send me an email, Diana, about that, that would be fantastic. I would appreciate that. Because when I was working for a small little company about a year and a half ago, they tried to make me sign papers for the Morneau Chappelle Fund, too. So in case I got hurt on the job, I'd be covered. And they failed to realize that I'm already covered through my veterans pension. So, but yeah, if you can send me an email, Diana, on that, that would be fantastic. In order to reach me, it's in my description there. So. I got a few more people signing up. Don't be shy, folks. That's the last Q&A of 2020. So, like as I mentioned, I'm working on some guests in next year, some notable guests too. So pay attention to that. And I'm also going to be working on a comedy channel as well. We're doing some skits, some characters, what have you. So, but I'm also going to keep an ear to the ground in regards to a possible election in the spring. Like I said, I am a candidate for the BCP party, and I will leave a link for y'all to check if you'd like to check them out and what they stand for. Quite an interesting bunch of individuals and for Canada. I'll leave a link here for you. You guys can check it out for yourself. And I know the leader personally. I served with him back in Petawawa. So you can check him out. Check out the Veterans Coalition Party. So, I'm sorry to hear that, Diana. Workers' compensation, yeah, they've had some issues with a few of the honchos of that too, to the tune of about $300,000 or $400,000 a year, to basically sit there and dictate who gets paid and who doesn't. Right. So, well, the thing is, too, to all my Ontario subscribers out there, please share the podcast, get the word out to Ontario and La Belle Province as well. To my East Coast fans, please share the stuff around. Right? Let's get the words out there before they actually pass a bill called C-10 to censor what we want to say. So, when I see more people coming out, folks, don't be shy. Ask me anything you want to know. I've already had to ding a few trolls earlier, asking me really stupid questions. So, Bill C-10 was a proposition they were going to put in Parliament in regards to, I'll sum it all up. Mind you, I'm paraphrasing here, but it's a matter of them censoring what we see online and or more or less telling us to get a license to do what we online. Right? Pierre Poilievre made a good statement about that on his page. You can find that on his page on Facebook too. Speaking against C-10. Right. It's a shit show, basically. Brian Budd said, no, I haven't talked to Mr. Mark Friesen in Saskatchewan as of yet. That is something I'll be working on in the future, of course. So you can say that, yeah, or just more government reach on your lives, Yeah, you can go online and do this, but they might pass legislation that says you have to get a license to do so. Why? Like, yeah, basically, Kipriath, more or less, yeah. Yeah, use your big words. Right. So, yeah, basically treating every internet service like a radio service where you have to get licensed from the CRTC and the governing body decides if you're worthy or not to have a license for it. Right. So basically, it's a con. Right. I just say it doesn't look good for guys like me and other independent folks like Adam Daniel Mazet, Daniel Boardman, Frank P. Vaughan, outlets like Rebel and the True North, and other independent media commentators, etc. So, well, look at our prime minister. He's the bastard son of Fidel Castro. So it speaks for itself, right? I don't think it's going to pass because I think the conservatives have a very, very good opposition against that too. So that would be the plan if it did pass. A lot of people like myself and a lot of other independent guys would probably be deplatformed or censored or have to have a license to do what we do. And I'm just like, no, because I need a license to drive my truck and my car, and I need a license to own a gun, and I need proof that I own my home, and I need proof that I pay taxes. So how much more goddamn paperwork do I need? So, well, you never know. You see the pictures go online all the time, the similarities between their looks and everything. But I think his old man taught him the principles of how communism really works, especially if you're rich. So, Worst case scenario would probably be they say, yes, we're going to do this. And then um, my audience might be limited or I might be censored, vice versa. Or dip in the rest of my savings and build my own network, get my own provider and do something from there. So, yeah, or they create a firewall or they create some kind of block that prevents you from getting things out. So, basically, the same principles what China does, what North Korea does, or any other totalitarian state would do. You know, it wouldn't surprise me if they tried to. Their push-ups, when they go as far as arresting people based on hate speech, it wouldn't surprise me if they tried to. It's such a broad term. Like the exact meaning of hate speech. I hate taxes. I hate paying taxes. Does that make me a hateful person? No. Yeah, Kiprioth, you nailed it. Yeah, you nailed it. It'd be like Chinese internet if C10 does pass. What you can see, what you can't see. Right. Well, let's just say it'd be worse than what it is. Right. Well, the 5G that's still in the works. So, but it would be worse. Yeah, that's the thing too. They probably have some kind of social credit scheme as well, right? Oh, you were caught crossing the road illegally 2 weeks ago. Sorry, you can't log on today. Or you were caught saying something about your dear leader. Sorry, you can't log on today. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Who knows what they're going to make? But C10 doesn't look promising, folks. None of these bills they've passed really look promising. So, well, every totalitarian leader has done something to kibosh or crush any kind of voice against them. So it doesn't matter if it's Pol Pot, doesn't matter if it's Ho Chi Minh, doesn't matter if it's, the North Korean leader, Little Kim, or Xi Jinping from China, or our beloved sock puppet, Mr. Trudeau. So you've got American universities doing it to their students. You've got Canadian universities doing it to their students, right? Any more questions, folks? Feel free to ask me anything you want to know. So, well, see, that's the thing. If all these parties agree with it, then 5 or 10 years down the road, it's going to affect them too. So, they pull this off. How are we going to get our freedom back without retorting to violence? Well, I would have to say we can close essential services. We could, take over certain power outlets and take over certain facilities without being violent. Huh? But the thing being, I personally feel that a lot of us are being backed into a corner, and the old fight or flight comes to mind. So it's hard to say. It's funny. I had a friend of mine the other day saying, "Do you ever get into trouble for saying what you say online?" And I'm like, "Well, not really, because I'm not promoting violence. I'm not promoting anything racial or anything bigoted. I'm just speaking our minds here. But from my experience with violence, it's hard to say what's going to be on the horizon." Hmm. It's hard to say what's going to happen, let's say, between now and if they do call another election in the spring, or if they don't call an election in the spring. Who knows? And how far do we go? Are we going to have to load up our trucks with sharp, pointy sticks? Or are we going to have to go en masse to Ottawa and storm the castle, per se, or storm the legislature in Edmonton or Queen's Park in Toronto? Right? What do we do? And the more and more these restrictions come to light, the more and more people are being told where they can spend their money and what they can buy and what they can't buy and when they can work and when they cannot work. It's, you're just setting off a time bomb, you know? And it's scary to think because we've never been a super violent society. We've never been to that degree. We've, like as mentioned earlier, we've taken a lot of things for granted. We asked for freedom and we got it historically. I think we earned it, but in the same sense, there are people in power right now that want to take that away for the so-called idea of what the greater good is. And they're not seeing the repercussions. They're not. And that's the thing, Diana, right? Because they represent a governing body, they represent authority. And yet, when I was in the military, I had every right to question an unlawful command. And when I see some of these officers and bylaw officers enforcing, I'm sure they have the same right and ability to question an unlawful command too. So what's the issue? Going to save your job? Are there not other municipalities or other police services you can go and work for? Right? Like, I just, it boggles my mind because then you have a question of ethics, right? True. And there's more to that story, Kiprief, about that gentleman too, that we're not being told. So, you know, well, that's the thing. And I personally believe that something's in the works. You can factor into the whole reset thing, the whole build back better thing, the whole BS thing. But I think something internally is about to happen. And I hope to God that we're ready for it. And I don't want to see violence in the streets. I don't. I don't. Because I personally know individuals that will do a total 180 if that happens. And the powers that be aren't going to like the result. So what's going to happen? I don't want to see it. I don't. Mm. I'm not exactly sure push-ups based on what I read for that episode that I did about it. The reaction was kind of slow, but in the same sense, we're not getting all the details in that too. Yeah, they said he was armed, but they never said what his intentions were. Other than, well, he wanted to talk to the prime minister. Well, of course he did. Of course he did. But you know, the thing being is the standard ground, stand for what's right, use our scruples that we're all raised with, our basic principles, live and let live as per, but defend your homes, defend your families, and defend what's right. Right? Oh, of course, of course. The prime minister and every important person on Ottawa would have great protection, ex-JTF or ex-CSOR or ex-Mounties or private security. They would know their shit. There's no doubt in my mind, you know, and they're well armed too. So, you know, and I'm sure they make a great living at it too. But then, you got to question some of those guys. It's like, where's your ethics at? Right? Is the prime minister's ideology more important than the people of Canada? Hmm. I'm sure there's been lots of people trying to get at these guys and things you don't hear about. But in the same sense, too, you know, it's the pot's a stirring. So I don't know what to say to that. My best guess would be that, a shitstorm's a brewing. Yeah, that was the Harper years. And that's what's scary, too, because you kind of wish that those guards had some ammo on them as well. Now, I know the sergeant at arms did a great job. Right, that's his job, But Norse Arts, how you doing, Norse? Good to see you. Thanks for coming out. Well, I have everyone's attention. Please consider becoming a member of the CRUSTY podcast page. Just click the join icon by the title, or take advantage of the super stickers and donate what you can. I know it's just after Christmas. I'm not demanding it, but if you feel like donating, please do. It's all encouraged. So, but, yeah, because I remember I was still in the service, so I remember the security measures we were briefed on and what we had to do. Well, while we're still, walking around. So, well, I'm gonna give this a few more minutes. Well, training standards have changed too, but I think there's also more of a political dogma being instilled in a lot of us today too. So, but even that situation just fueled JT's fire and banning all guns, which isn't going to help. You know. Oh, thank you, Kip. Appreciate that. Thank you. Cheers, buddy. Thank you very much. Exactly. Hope for the best, plan for the worst. True enough. True enough. Joe CC 5052. Yep. Yeah. So, like I said, like I've said in all my podcasts, ladies and gentlemen, just do what you can. I'm not going to sit here and do kumbaya and play a guitar for you. Do what you can to help your neighbors out. A few extra groceries, shovel some snow, maybe a few extra bucks for gas. Little neighborly things, just little pieces that add up. Because they always say every little bit helps, and it does. So. Also, plan egress. Remind me what egress is again. Colin MacArthur Vickers. Okay. Norris Arts. I was watching U.S. Space Force PT training. Judging what I saw, seems they will be gaining major screen time. Oh, possibly. Space Force, right? What's going to happen after Space Force? Starfleet. Yes, escape, no retreat. Well, that's the thing. Egress. Yeah, there's. I've talked to my wife briefly about that. You know, um, I just want to see where things are going. You know, I'm just going to say, stand tall, stand proud. What else can we do? You know, I fought for this country before. I'll fight for it again. You know, that simple. Mm. Kevin Vickers. That name is familiar. I shot the guy in the hill. Okay. Well, that's the thing. When you hear about these guys committing crimes, you don't hear what party they're associated with unless they're conservative or the non-liberal mandate, right? So it's see, that's what happens when you get a prime minister that spends $600 million on keeping the media in check, right? So, any more questions, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, he did, Joe. He did buy the media to win favor, right? Of course, you know, which then created more division between other media outlets, which created people like me. Free thought. Who knew? So I guess in a way it was kind of a good thing because it gets people the option, to get out there in the world and speak their mind, right? I'll give this a few more minutes, ladies and gentlemen, and then I'll shut her down for 2020. So, and as a reminder, too, ladies and gentlemen, keep an eye on my community page there on YouTube, and you'll find updates on what's going on in the world of CRUSTY CANUCK as well. So, well, like I say, we just got to stand our ground, folks. That's simple. North Arts, yes, and that was hats off the Rebel for actually displaying that too. And I loved how the mainstream media reacted to that. Oh my God, a conservative outlet brought this story to terms. Oh, gee, there's some legitimacy to it. Oh shit, right? Like I just shake my head at the whole fucking fiasco. Really. Mhm. No, I didn't have any moose milk this year. I gave the recipe to a lot of my family members, though. I've cut drinking out of my diet. The last time I had a drink was Thanksgiving, and before that was I think I had a beer in July. Drinking doesn't go well with me like it used to. Yeah, so there was some antidepressants I was on a few years back. That didn't help with my weight gain, you know, and I'm slowly dropping the poundage again. And the best way to do it is to curb the liquor. Now, this isn't helping, but I'm eating healthier, drinking a little more water, being a little more active, and I don't take any antidepressants anymore. And I've cut the drinking. So, but that's the thing, North Arts. I think a lot of us know what's coming. So, but sense of community, sense of family, and love for nation. BFTs. Well, I could do some BFTs, true, but then I get tired of marching. So I'll just throw my pack on my bike, and I'll go for a little ride. Oh, after a couple of K of the BFT, I just get so fucking bored. Fuck. Again. So again, thanks, Kip, for coming out. Appreciate that. So yeah. Well, it's like running too. Like I used to play a lot of soccer, play a lot of lacrosse. I coached soccer, I coached lacrosse. And then when I had my issues back in 2014, I thought I was having heart issues, anxiety issues, etc. So here's these pills, here's these pills. Oh, you're feeling depressed. Oh, here's more pills, here's more pills. Oh, your PTSD has come, and oh, okay, more pills, more pills. And then I just, so, I mean, so anyhow, folks, yes, well, it's 7:42 p.m. right now, Mountain Standard Time. Thank you once again, everyone who has come out to this live stream. Thank you for the donations, what have you. Let's all hope 2021 will be a better year for all of us, all colors, all creeds. Let's not pay attention to the virtue signaling. Let's not pay attention to the bullshit. Let's get the hard questions out there. Let's put these clowns on the spot and stand our ground as we should. Stand tall and stand proud. Thank you, everybody who has come out so far. And thank you very much to my new subscribers out there who have taken the time to ask me pertinent questions. And I'll even thank the trolls, too, for asking me the stupid questions tonight as well. Yeah, okay. Anyhow, thank you once again, everyone, for coming out and the positive reinforcement and the feedback. Without you guys, I would not be doing this. So pat yourselves on the back for being good patrons and taking the time to listen to my garble and share this all around if you can. I will try to get a new episode out this week sometime, hopefully for the new year. But this will be the last live stream of 2020. But I will try to do another live stream with my calendar here, possibly on either the 10th of January or the 8th. So either the 8th or the 10th of January will be my next live stream. So we'll keep your calendars open for that. And just pay attention to my community page here on the tube and on my Facebook page too for updates on what's going on, what have you. And a special shout out to Gilbert, who is on a little tour with a young man who goes by the moniker of the Old Man on Facebook, who is carrying a cross, an actual wooden cross that he made in support of veterans, clean water for the natives, and the Canadian people. It's not a protest. He's making a statement, and the plan is to march this cross across Canada and to plant it on Parliament Hill in the name of Canada. So follow Gilles Gilbert on Facebook if you can. He'll give you updates on what's going on. He's also the HR rep for the VCP party, and I'll put the link up here shortly. So please follow him if you can. Check it out. It's a good cause. I would join him if I could, but I'm trying to get my employment back in check here, trying to keep my pennies in check so I can keep the lights on and keep doing this for you all too. So, what else? I remember the Christmas. Yes, and thank you everybody for the Christmas wishes. Thank you all for coming out. Joe CC 5052. Thank you, brother. Appreciate the kind words. Right. And I do have a parlay account, Norse Arts. I'm working on trying to find a good streaming service that's not going to censor me and give me a decent rate so I can get more people out and contribute, what have you. So you can find me all the information on my parlay accounts in the description and all my videos. You can find my link there. Right. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook, Instagram here. You can find me on Podbean. That's the home base of my podcast. Send me a message to Facebook if you like to. Right. But I've heard Telegram is really good, so I'll be looking at that as well. Yeah. And thank you, Kiprioth, for posting that email. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. And thank you all, and give yourselves a pat in the back. And let's hope 2021 will be an excellent year for prosperity, freedom, and democracy. You all know me, I'm CRUSTY CANUCK, and like I always say, humanity and merit wins the day. So, merry belated Christmas out there in internet land. And let's hope we have the happiest and the strongest of the new year. Take care and God bless. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.